It's in an ad platform's best interest for ads to be appealing so that users will engage with them, because when it comes down to it, that's one of the ways that a lot of these platforms make money is based on advertising. But there's a lot of businesses that don't have really good creative services. So platforms like Facebook have to get a little bit creative. What they do is create tools directly in the ad platform that can help enhance and optimize your ads, even if your creative isn't great to begin with. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the standard enhancements or optimizations that you can use on your Facebook ads. The easiest way for me to show you all of the enhancements or optimizations that Facebook will make to your single image or video ad is just to show you an ad setup. So in an effort to try and cut down on lots of blurring and crazy stuff, hopped into a client account and I went ahead and created a single image ad with some placeholder text that will direct people to the Paid Media Pros page. So if we scroll down just a bit, I've got the identity sorted out. My manual upload for creative is in place. My format, single image or video, as I mentioned. And then if we scroll down here to add creative, this is where we're going to find all of the enhancements. I've already put some placeholder text and calls to action in here to make sure that we have something to preview in as many of these creatives as possible. And I will preface this by saying not every one of these enhancements will be eligible, but we'll walk through the majority of them. So to get started finding all of the enhancements, we're just going to go to Add Media. I'm going to use a single image. And then just for fun, I'm going to use an old image of Joe because I think it's funny for people to see what he used to look like. And also it's the right size and it works as well as it can. Once we get past the crop option, which Facebook would love for me to crop this into different areas, but we're just using a placeholder ad here. I'm going to hit next. And now we're into all of the different optimize your ad with Advantage plus creative options that Facebook has available. You'll see here the original creative is showing up, and it is a bit warped because we don't have exactly the dimensions that they would like, but that's okay for today. Ideally, you have all of the images you would want cropped to all of the accurate sizes. Now, the first thing you can do for Facebook, and they would love this, is if you just toggle on all optimizations. You would just need to do that. Now, every single one of them is on. So if we go through these and you decide you like all of them, you can turn them all on easily, but you can also decide to turn them all off easily. Now, if you've not heard of Advantage Plus Creative, you probably have heard of something similar. And the other option drop down that we have over here is this all optimizations, but you can filter for just standard enhancements. And standard enhancements is probably what you've heard of before. It's just a subset of all of the optimizations in here. So I'm not going to choose that because it would just be a shorter list to go through. But on your own, you'll see that you can choose all optimizations or standard enhancements, and it'll just limit the list or expand the list depending on which one you're looking at. So let's start to talk about what all of these enhancements do and why you might want to use them in your account. The first is one that probably makes sense for just about every account. It's called relevant comments. So if we see the description here, it says that Facebook will display the most relevant comment below your ad on Facebook and Instagram. Now, I don't know how they determine relevance. Maybe it's based on who engages with it, how many people like it or respond to it or whatever, but this seems pretty reasonable to me, especially if you have lots of people who are angry posting on your comments. This might help to make sure that whatever comments are at the top are the most relevant. So anytime you want to turn on any of the Advantage Plus creative optimizations, you just need to toggle the little switch right here. You'll see that it'll show up as on, and the ones that we'll get to in a minute are currently set up as off, but then it'll apply to the ad that you have it turned on for, and it will not apply to any of the others. The next optimization is going to be music. As you can see here, over 50% of video watch time on Instagram feed is spent with sound on. So utilizing music could be a good way to help your ads stand out from ads that don't have music included. I'm not going to play the music for this video just because, a little behind the scenes, my computer is already overheating just recording on Facebook because Facebook takes a lot. So all you'll hear is the fan. But if we were to turn this on, we'll then have music added to any of our creatives. But in addition to that, it's not just that we'll have music, but we actually get to customize this a little bit. So if we come down here to change music, we can now preview and select a ton of different music options from the Facebook library. The checkbox here will automatically apply music based on the media, music popularity, all that good stuff. So it's basically an AI decision for you. But if you wanted to, you could choose any of the other options here. You just need to uncheck this box first, and then you can select a handful of different music options that you would want to use. And again, even though I'm not going to do it in this video, you can preview the music and listen to it, see how it sounds. Do you like the way that it matches with your creative, with your brand, with your aesthetic, and choose a handful of it. And again, there are tons of different options. As I scroll down, more options keep popping up. There's lots of music to choose from. So if you want to have your creatives stand out a little bit, adding music can be a really useful optimization to have on your ads. The next optimization is going to be an image template. You can see down here that there's already a preview for it. I only added the image to our creatives, but then as part of the text, I utilized subscribe on YouTube, and Facebook has taken that and added it as an extension of the image. So if we come up here and highlight over this, you can see that what Facebook will do is apply templates that show text you've already provided. That's a key. They don't make up text for you, but it's text you've already provided along with your selective creative when it's likely to improve performance. So what they've done is they've created this expanded banner here with the text we've given. They've chosen a color for us based on the creative, and now our ad has this tiny little call to action at the top. But just like the music, you don't have to use only the assets that they've given for you. You can come down here to adjust fonts and colors. Here you can see what the ad looks like without the custom image template. If we turn it on, it'll now show the subscribe on YouTube piece that we have up at the top. Another tip, if you're seeing it on mobile feed, maybe change your preview to Instagram feed. You'll be able to see it there. We get to choose from different text styles as well as background colors. Right now, everything is set to automatic, but if we wanted to change our text style, we could choose from a handful of different fonts. Some are regular, bold, light. We're just going to use Roboto Bold. And now you can see the font has changed, and you can change the background color as well, either choosing from one of the preset options up here at the top, or you can add in your own hex code, pick from the color spectrum, and then adjust to refine exactly what color you want. Just for fun, let's make it really bright and obnoxious. And now our custom image template would look like this. So you can customize these to your heart's content to make sure that they fit all of your branding and messaging. So if we go back to the list that we had, we've now got 3 of the optimizations on. Let's keep scrolling down here, and we've got the second row of options we've got here. So visual touch-ups. These are automatically adjusting the brightness, color, and aspect ratio of an ad creative if it'll improve performance. In my mind, this is kind of a no-brainer. Brightness, color, aspect ratio, as long as, it doesn't end up making Joe look like this, is probably okay. And my guess is that most of the time, Facebook knows not to make somebody all stretched out and wide like that. But you can scroll through a few different options that Facebook is showing you so you can see what it would look like in different placements before opting into it. For now, I'm not going to opt into it because that first preview did look pretty bad. It didn't really make sense to me, so I'm going to leave that one. And then the next one is going to be around text improvements. So what text improvements will do is they will take any text you provide, can appear as primary text, headline text, or description. So think of whenever you are writing all of the creative that you have, basically Facebook is saying, we're going to mix and match what you provided, put it in a spot we think that it's going to perform better, and run with it that way. This is a good option if you really just want to see how smart Facebook can be with your text options. But if you have very specific ad creatives put together in an order that flows, as you can see in the image down here, they've got it highlighted over which aspects of the ads are in here. Some portions of the ads, some formats, don't even show the description. So if you want that to show up, might be a good option. But if your ads are written specifically for somebody to flow from one piece of text to the next, this might not be the best option for you. The next optimization is going to be an image filter. This one is pretty self-explanatory. They do give a description that they will apply minor filters to an image when it's likely to improve the creative. And they always use this exact same image of plants for this, so they make sure that they say it doesn't represent your ad. But as you can see here, this first image at the top is A little bit darker, a little bit dingier than the one down here at the bottom. They've basically brought up the exposure, added in some saturation. Again, very minor filters that can be useful to make your ads pop just that much more. In my mind, this one's pretty much a no-brainer. It's very easy to turn this on. Image AI for those filters is really good, so they're not going to make anything look cartoony. So if you've got images of actual real-world things, not stylized creatives or cartoons or anything like that, image filter is probably a good one to use. Now the last two we're going to go through pretty quickly because I don't have any images that Facebook ever says are compatible with them. And the first is going to be 3D animation. What this is they will add 3D motion and depth to your image when it's likely to improve performance. This will deliver for Instagram stories, feed, and reels. So pretty much just on Instagram. In my mind, this is probably best for product images. Those are most likely really easy to turn into a 3D animation through some of that same image AI. So if you have standalone images that might be what you would normally have on your e-com website, that could be a good option for these. The last option is going to be all the way down here at the bottom, and it's going to be expand image. And again, I don't have a good example of this, but my assumption is that it's going to be pretty similar to one of the other ones that we had above. So it's automatically going to expand your image to fit into more placements. This will be for the Instagram feed and Facebook Reels. So they were created based on the original asset, and they want to make sure that Meta does not make any warranties regarding the completeness, reliability, and accuracy of expanded images, and they are not liable for any damages that pop up. Now that seems like a really weird statement to put here. So this might be one where you really need to see the previews before you decide to turn it on, because when it comes down to it, there's a lot of new photo AI where people can take an image of, let's say, a forest. They can then expand the side of the image and tell the platform, make more forest over here, and it'll just come up with whatever it thinks will match the image. So my guess is this is going to be a very similar option to that, and you just don't know what's going to pop up, what the AI is going to expand your image to. But my guess is it'll probably have some of the same insights leaning into that it comes up with the image template where it tries to expand based on at least the same coloring, using the same copy that you have someplace else. But it's probably not going to be a perfect match. Make sure that you look at the previews before you actually opt into any of those. So for now, let's go ahead and click done. The last thing that I want to point out is that you don't have to be in the media setup section to be able to see which optimizations for your creatives you have active. Once you have all of those in place, you can come down here to the bottom, and almost always you'll see this little pie chart down here, and it shows that we've opted into 3 of the 8 optimizations that are available. And if we wanted to edit those and adjust, we would just need to click edit, and it'll take us right back to the previous builder so we can adjust them, add more, turn some off, anything like that. Overall, I think the optimizations and enhancements that Facebook offers are a great way to try and get more of that engagement on the platform, because again, that's what drives the ad spend, trying to make sure that we're having people engage with our ads and eventually convert. So if possible, come in here, review these, customize them to your heart's content so you can opt in, but make sure that if you can't customize them in a way that your brand or you are happy with them, make sure you have them turned off so you don't start to see your ads showing up in placements or with different enhancements that you don't like. If you have any additional questions about Facebook Advantage Plus Creative optimizations, standard enhancements, whatever they want to call them, or anything else on the Facebook platform, please feel free to leave us a note in the comments below. Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.